Survivor Series changed things, with Bayley's loss, the return of Randy Orton and CM Punk really changing a landscape for an incoming return for Roman Reigns. With the Royal Rumble coming up, you have to believe CM Punk is a shoo-in to guarantee himself a win and a main event match at WrestleMania against either Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. I can't imagine a world in which CM Punk is not in the Royal Rumble, but let's zip back a little bit because we have plenty of Royal Rumble to talk about. These are the match card predictions, and this is what I see happening at the Royal Rumble. Historically, either Roman Reigns opens or closes the show. This year, I think the men's Royal Rumble will close, primarily because of questions around CM Punk. Now, where Roman lands then is pretty clear. Should be opening the show in a top-level championship match, and as it's the Royal Rumble and the beginning of a brand new year, a top-level opponent. With the Royal Rumble in the main event, that's where I have CM Punk. I don't have him here, even though I'd imagine a lot of people do. No. For me, it's the other return, challenging Roman Reigns. I have Roman Reigns defending the championship against Randy Orton, a match that was supposed to happen 2 SummerSlams ago that never quite got round to happening since. For me, Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns is top draw and a clear indication that more championships are coming in future for Randy Orton. I think he might be the one to break that championship record. Let me know if you disagree in the comments. Now, Roman Reigns still has the bloodline and still has a little bit of beef with both Kevin Owens and LA Knight. I actually can't imagine a Royal Rumble without some sort of Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and I kind of think that's going to play into this here. We've seen an uneasy alliance between Kevin Owens and LA Knight spawned on SmackDown. We'll see Randy Orton returning to SmackDown this week. I can see Kevin Owens and LA Knight being natural antithesis to the bloodline, equaling out Jimmy Uso and equaling out Solo Sikoa as we build towards this match. I do feel, though, it will be the bloodline that come out of this one, because I cannot imagine a world in which Roman Reigns loses the championship, at least before WrestleMania. This is also in building towards Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes working together against the bloodline at WrestleMania. I believe Roman Reigns defeats Randy Orton, a coup even at the best of times, to retain the championship and go into WrestleMania, where Cody Rhodes is a possibility, but certainly not the only possibility. We'll get to that. Next up, a women's championship match, and it's one they've been putting off for a while. Rhea Ripley needs top-level challenges in order to really solidify her position as a champion, something she's been missing for the vast majority of her reign. Nia Jax was brought back for this purpose, and I'm confident Nia Jax will be the challenger. Jax has done pretty well since she came back, no injuries as of yet, which is always a good thing. More than that, she seems to be getting some good responses from the people she's working with. That said, I do find it telling that Kairi Sane's on the other channel rather than on Monday Night Raw. For me, this has Rhea Ripley win all over it. Nia Jax essentially sent to the curb packing. I do think there is another plan that does involve Nia Jax at WrestleMania. For Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch seems to be calling. It really is the only name who can get her where she needs to be. The SmackDown Women's division, much stronger already. Next up, I have the Women's Royal Rumble. There are some good options here. There's a lot of heat behind a returning Liv Morgan. If we're heading towards Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch could be an option here. That said, I do think Becky Lynch is out, having already won it and knowing that there are easier routes to get where she needs to go anyway. For me, this comes down to damage control and it comes down to Bayley. I do think at this point Bayley fully deserves that opportunity, has earned it in blood, sweat and tears over the years, and also the storyline is already there. She has a very uneasy position right now at the very top of damage control. She feels like Farouk in the Nation of Domination, ready to be toppled at any time. Dakota Kai clearly not actually on her side, but working for the combination of Io Sky, Kairi Sane and Asuka. I can see that four splitting off, attacking Bayley in the process. Bayley then becomes a face. Whether or not the face turn happens before the Rumble or after is up to interpretation. Personally, I see Bayley winning the Rumble as a part of damage control. This really opens up play. I can imagine a world in which Dakota Kai, speaking for Io Sky, makes it clear to Bayley that she is not to use her victory for a championship match. The damage control is now safe. There is no possibility of a championship changing hands. And for a moment, I can see Bayley agreeing. Until there comes a point where they don't trust her. I would not go the other way around. Bayley is not trusted by Damage Control to keep her word, even though she's proven to no end that she is the most loyal of all of them. Bayley, for me, becomes a champion at WrestleMania, defeating Io Sky and Damage Control. As we move on to our next match, let me know who you think will win the Women's Royal Rumble in the comments and hit like on the video. Seth Rollins is up next, and I'm confident where we're going for WrestleMania. Damian Priest for me isn't actually involved in this one. I can actually see a cash in at WrestleMania and a second heist of the century. But for the Royal Rumble, we just need a competitor for Seth Rollins who isn't that likely to pick up the win, that keeps someone out of the Royal Rumble. For me, that is a repeat of what we've seen before. That is Drew McIntyre getting another shot at the gold. Drew McIntyre is one of those, if he's in the Royal Rumble, he's a big name and he adds a lot of credibility to it. I still think he might be involved, but I do think when it comes to the championship opportunity, we have to keep certain people away from it. That allows them to then go into the Rumble. That's why CM Punk is not facing Seth Rollins here. Drew McIntyre is looking for big name feuds and championship runs in order to renew his contract. This gets him very close to the gold once again and helps to convince him of that. I don't see him winning, certainly not before he signed a new deal. That would be a very strange choice, but very reminiscent of Money in the Bank 2011 with CM Punk. Seth keeps the championship, rides on into WrestleMania, and honestly, this World Heavyweight Championship is off to a very good start. Speaking of keeping people out of the Royal Rumble, Charlotte Flair has damn good pedigree when it comes to these Royal Rumbles, being a winner and a runner-up in the brief time that they've been running them. Now for me, Charlotte Flair versus Io Sky is the Women's Championship match here. We haven't yet had a pay-per-view one-on-one match between them, though there's been certain teasers of it, and I do feel they are at this point starting to lack actual opportunities and actual people in the position to claim that championship match. For me, Io Sky still needs top-level competitors to help build her championship reign. Bayley's still the one for me at the end of it, but she's worked Bianca Belair twice now. She's worked with a number of other people who can really help elevate her, and we're at a point now where Charlotte Flair seems to be the ideal choice. Even though Flair is another one who could break Ric Flair's record, I don't see it happening here. It's a scalp for Io Sky. It's a big opportunity to really firmly write her name in the history books and on the map with this one, but I do not see a win for Charlotte Flair. Io Sky, for me, should actually win this one clean. It's very, very, very rare that she wins a match clean, and honestly, I think Charlotte Flair losing clean would do more to get her cheered than anything else, given her history with championships. This leaves us with the big one, and there can be only one. I can see a lot of things coming out of this Royal Rumble, particularly for WrestleMania, Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. I can definitely imagine there's going to be something involving Cody and Nakamura, possibly as the final two, but I do not see Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble. Yes, that would get him to Roman Reigns, and yes, that is what I expect is coming. But I do believe that things have changed in the past 2 weeks and we have a new potential winner lined up for the Royal Rumble, that there is going to be huge momentum behind. Momentum that started at this year's Survivor Series. I'm not talking about Randy Orton. I am talking, of course, about CM Punk. When it comes to the big one, the WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes is in a great position to be a potential winner there. He, however, does not have Royal Rumble win coming because he's already had one very recently. And when you have someone the caliber of CM Punk, you've got to give him the bit. I see him winning the Royal Rumble and challenging Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. To be clear, I don't see him winning because of Damian Priest, but it is an immediate return at the very top, and it is a message sent out by WWE, much as they have with Jade Cargill, much as they did with Cody Rhodes. Come here, if we want you, you will be treated like a king. As regards the main event, I don't see CM Punk getting it for WrestleMania, but certainly main eventing Royal Rumble after the way he returned at Survivor Series and picking up a win will set him on the right path. Of course, as much as anything, it's up to him whether he's on the right path, but Triple H can certainly help him along. Let me know what you expect to see in the Royal Rumble, and check out WTF Wrestling, where we discuss Cody Rhodes, the great defector and the most important man in wrestling in the last decade. Until then, thank you and goodbye.